Good?
Yeah, let's get it.
Let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Budgie Smugglers.
Hello, smugglers.
I'm Stephen Bradshaw. This is Jeremy Dooley. What has been happening in your week, Dools? I know it's been a fun week, I'll tell you that.
I've had a good week. I've had a lot of fun things. I had a lot of, had some interesting gigs, which is always good, starting that process, getting back into it. Had some good food this week, which is also good. I ate a good meal yesterday, which I'm sure we'll chat about later on.
Okay.
So that was good.
Yes, we did. Oh, yeah.
I had there's a bakery not far from where I live, and they've got not just an almond croissant, but it's an almond croissant with chocolate in it as well.
So a chocolate almond croissant.
Yeah. It's real, and it's not like a chocolate croissant. You know how you get just tiny little bit of, and it's mainly air.
Yes.
This is an almond croissant with a bit of chocolate in it, and that was phenomenal.
That's pretty good. I smashed a couple of potato cakes on the way here from Geelong.
Yeah.
Stayed in Geelong last night.
From a fish and chip shop or a servo?
No, there's a servo. There's an Ampol, because it's very hard to get to this one. If you're coming from Geelong to Melbourne, because there's the one with the Maccas and the Red Rooster and stuff. Then you drive past the one with the Hungry Jacks. Yep. And then there's another one.
Just off. Oh, that one, yeah.
The Ampol there. They have a Macca's, but you skip that and there's a little, like a road, truck road thing. And they do burgers, they do Kranskis, but the potato cakes there are pretty elite.
Yeah, right. There you go. What's your, how many potato cakes are you putting down?
I was quite hungry. 3.
3? Okay. That's
3 and a burger.
Not too bad. 3 and a burger.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And so, but one of the 3 potato cakes was to put in the burger, so I don't really count that one.
That's an interesting move.
No, that's good. And food, you mentioned bakeries. I'll talk about it a bit in a minute in Heathcote on the weekend, but there's a place called Tubarak Hotel, which is a little microbrewery.
Yep. Is it owned by Barack Obama?
No, it's not actually. It'd be great if it was, though. You just pop in, say hello to Michelle and the kids. Yeah. No, but next to it's a little pie shop, and I'm telling you right now, the best pies in Victoria.
Wow.
Probably Australia, probably the world as well. I just haven't had enough pies outside of Victoria to make that claim, but Tubarak pies.
What's the rundown? Why are they so good?
High tin pie. You can tell they make the pastry themselves. It's not just, you know how you just get any pie. I don't know where they get this pie pastry from, but they all use the same shit. No, that. But then it's a high pie, but it's not like those high pies you get where it's high, but the meat's only like halfway through. It's stacked to the top. So the pastry's perfect. It's elite. The filling is great. I got the beef and beer pie.
Beef and beer,
but it's like slow cooked meat. It's not shitty mince. It was just amazing. So yeah,
there you go.
More food. We seem to be talking more and more about food on this podcast than sport.
That is a thing. Do you have many gigs over the last week?
Yeah, I had a fair few. Tuesday I was at Itty Bitty, doing some new stuff. Wednesday I was at Dirty Secrets Comedy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that gig.
Yes, no,
do that.
Yeah, do that one. It's good. Lovely little crowd there, having a good time. Thursday I did Nevermind.
That's a gig that just escaped my existence of thinking.
Yeah, it's the same with the audience as well. And then Friday, of course, I was in Geelong, Friday night comedy at the Nash. Yep. With Blake Pavey and David Tolk and Big Ben Knight and Siobhan Lark. It was Ben Searle, Fergus Neal, stacked lineup. I was emceeing that show, had a good time there. And then, of course, Saturday night, I was in Heathcote at the Union Hotel in Heathcote with 3 Dams Winery Estate. It was Heathcote on show, a little food and wine festival. I'm going back to do the gig again next year. It was sold out. The gig was fantastic. I was MC. The crowd were into it from the jump. Hannah Sainty did wonderful. Blaze White was a last-minute fill-in. He did a great job. And then David Rose headlines and absolutely murdered. But I'm thinking, when I do it next year, I'm going to go out for the whole weekend. They had all these wineries right in the middle of town, like they were doing wine tastings in like the library and the town hall.
In the library?
Yeah, all these different spots. They basically got all the wineries in and just down the strip. Obviously, I couldn't really enjoy many of them because I had a gig to do. So I just did one little cheeky wine tasting. But I'm going to do the whole weekend next year. Heathcote on show. Go check it out.
Oh, so it's like a festival thing.
Yeah.
It's not just what they do on a weekend.
No. Okay. It's just the one once for the King's birthday weekend, I think.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
it was great. What about yourself?
I'm trying to take it easy at the moment just because I got a huge few weeks about to pop off. So I only did the couple of gigs this week. Dropped in at Clyde to just start on some new stuff. And it's always such a tough moment when you're just like, cool, I'm just going to do all new material. Like I'm not going up there and like trying some old gold and then doing one new bit. That's a sort of gig where I'm coming in all new stuff, no pad up there. Not my audience either there. So, you know, you're never really sure how it's going to go, but it was fine. I got what I needed out of it. There was I got laughs in the right places. So now I just got to figure out those bits. And then I had a corporate, man, I bombed so hard. It was rough. So I had a corporate, I was on with, I won't say the comedian, but very established Australian comedian. And he rocks up. I'm like, hey, how you going? And he's like, whoa, Dools, I was doing well until I walked in here. It was fun. It would have been fun for the audience.
Yep.
Because it was a part of a bigger event.
Yep.
But it was in a bowling, sort of like a holy moly style, like, fun mini golf sort of thing. All the lights were on. People were standing up. There was food being handed around. And there was a robot dog that we were competing with. I don't know if you've ever competed with a robot dog, but a dude talking into a microphone is not interesting when there's a robot dog.
I would,
wandering around. And then, but the guy, like, everyone was happy with it. Like everyone who needed to be happy with it was happy with it. The promoter was happy with it. Like he knew what it was. And for the basketball team it was for, the president, I think.
Which basketball team?
Hume City Broncos.
Go the Broncos.
Go Broadmeadows. Broady Broncos, old school. He was pretty happy with it. The guy had very thick fingers. Like we saw him, like he's like, oh, here's a bottle of water. And as soon as he walked away, me and the other comedian were like, did you see the size of that man's hands? Like they were biggest hands Sausages. I've ever seen. They were Kranskis. Like tell you what, all I could think about was just like the damage that guy would have done growing up with those fingers, because they were big, thick, girthy fingers. So that was...
What's your main takeaway from that gig?
Yeah, that was, main takeaway from that gig is, I got upstaged by a robot dog.
Yes. Oh, it happens to the best of us, of course.
Absolutely.
And then there was yesterday, Dools.
Yes.
Oh, well, I had a great day down at the Sporting Globe Geelong for their reopening, a UFC watch party with our best mate, closest friend and ally, Bailey Smith.
Oh, yes. So good friends with Bailey.
Yeah. Good mates.
Yeah. That drink that you got from him was awesome.
Yeah, it was. It was good. But we were interviewing some punters. We had a good time. The place looks great. They've refurbished the joint and it's looking fantastic. The people are lovely. Beers were flowing.
So many screens.
Like,
it's not one of those, sometimes you go to a sports bar and it's like, they're like, oh, we've got 4,000 screens. And they do, but they're tiny.
Yeah.
The Sporting Globe in Geelong has got screens that are huge and then other screens and then other screens.
And then screens within screens within screens.
It's wild. It's like screen inception.
Yeah, it was. But highly recommend. We'll be releasing a bit of content over the coming weeks of our time there. We had a great time. But if you're in the Geelong area or ever passing through, need to watch a game, watch a UFC.
Yeah, watch any type of sport. Even have a Parma.
Have a Parma. Delicious Parma.
Good.
How good was the Parma there?
What I liked about it was that the crumb around the chicken had a good like herb to breadcrumb ratio. So it gave it a good bit of flavor.
And had a good density. It was crispy. Didn't get soggy. Nothing
not
worse
too
than a
much
soggy Parma.
crumbing and not enough meat. It was a good ratio.
Parma was served on the side of the chips, not on top of the chips.
We love that.
We were ordering 2-litre towers of beer, giving beers away to punters.
Yep.
Great time.
Yeah, great time. Everyone was having a good time. It was a good event. And Sporting Globe Geelong. Maybe we were wrong about you.
Maybe.
We'll see. Shall we get into the comments? We got a few. We
should say thank you for this. Thank you to the Sporting Globe Geelong for having us.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, it was great. They let us run amok, basically.
They just let us in and we could do whatever we wanted. It was
go nuts. And, it's if someone's manager put a hard tag on, we couldn't have a chat. Otherwise, it was all good.
It was good. Lovely.
Okay, the comments. So we, I'll get to the two biggest. Like there was a hot topic on TikTok this week. So I'll get to the what I've written here, the top one and the bottom one. I'll go with the bottom one first. So this was at the gig on Tuesday. Shayna, I think it was Shauna. There was a bit of an accent, couldn't tell.
Okay.
From like Scotland or Ireland or something. When it's like Welsh or something like that. I'm just like, I'm not sure what you're saying to me. You can answer this one first. How long before a joke makes it or gets put aside? Because for context, the gig was an open mic. So for new comedians, they're probably doing their best stuff or their only stuff. But for a few more established comedians, you're trying brand new stuff in the hopes that it might make it to your next hour-long sort of festival show. So
how long before a joke makes it or gets put aside? I usually give a bit. It's a smallish bit, 3 goes. And if I'm not feeling it and it's getting 0 laughs after 3 times, I'll put it aside. But often is the case, it's a joke where some parts of it are working and then you're just kind of rewriting that joke, making cuts, adding bits in, and that could last for years, really. There's some stuff at the moment that I forgot I had written and just kind of found it, and I've brought them back that I kind of given up on about 12 months ago. And I'm like, oh no, there's stuff here, and I just got a different angle to look at it and rewrite it. But what about you?
It's kind of and it depends sort of thing, because there's some jokes that will work in an hour-long show that won't necessarily work in a club show or in a shorter set. So there's also that sort of thinking there. I'll give a joke kind of till I'm bored with it. If it's like kind of working, I'll just keep tinkering around the edges. And then when I get bored with it, which might be 6 months, I'll just put it aside for a couple of weeks and then I'll bring it back out and try it again with some fresh eyes. When it gets put aside, so it's at that time of year now for me where unless I'm doing, like paid gigs, like proper pro gigs, I'm doing all new material predominantly. So anything that was at my comedy festival show kind of gets a line put through it. Sort of around this time of year, you start to, I'm on the road a bit next month, so I'll be using a lot of that material. But then sort of from probably mid-August onwards, it'll be rare that I use all of that. And that's a terrifying time.
Oof, rough.
Yes.
That's good. When you start seeing things come together and it's been good. The biggish shows I had on the weekend at Geelong and in Heathcote, it was good to sort of do some of the old stuff that I knew worked. And then when I come back in the second half, I was able to I had 5 to 10 of new stuff that went really well, which is a really good feeling.
It's a great feeling when a new bit just works off the button as well. That is phenomenal. But then sometimes you get this bit where it's like a new bit will work and you're like, this is the best thing ever. And then you do it the second time and it doesn't work as good. Then you do it the third time and you're like, am I gaslighting myself? What's going on there? That's a really common thing that can happen as well.
New joke energy, I labeled it.
Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. And that happens a lot.
And it's also, some of the gigs you do in Melbourne, the audience size, you need to get it in front of enough people that you can get a good idea of, this is working and it's not just unique to like that small audience or that particular night there. Yep. So you want to take it to some big audiences, all the way around the state.
Thank you, Shayna or Cheyenne or Shayna or...
I think it was that
Shayna?
one. That one.
Shayna?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what the actual name was. Sorry.
All right.
She was lovely. Good laugher. We love that. Okay. Next we've got apostrophe. Was not the word, but just the little...
An apostrophe.
Yeah.
The symbol,
literal... the symbol.
The punctuation mark.
Correct. This was about learning the name of the Adelaide 36ers. Adelaide was founded as a city on the last day of 1836, hence the 36ers. And I think, apostrophe, if you just listened an extra 15 seconds before just like and typing away there, you probably would have learnt that we discovered that as well.
For a guy named after a punctuation mark, his punctuation and spelling was fucking atrocious.
It's not good.
What's this? There's no full stop. He did put the apostrophe right. Do you think he's named himself apostrophe after the apostrophe in the 36ers?
Probably.
But, just watch the whole
part.
clip.
Yeah,
just watch the whole clip before you start mouthing off apostrophe.
Go to the end.
You knob.
Go to the end.
Oh, speaking about knobs, we got a lot of feedback and it's still pouring through as we speak. But this is your domain, not my domain at all. But we obviously put up a post about the Socceroos squad selection, and it sent the internet, TikTok, soccer, Australian niche audience into a bit of a frenzy, Dools. You just run through some of your favourites.
Okay, this is from Rocky. Football Australia needs to get its wallet out and cut the bullshit and get a quality international coach. The display against Japan was disgraceful. It's a joke. I love the game, but it's a shame that the golden age of football in this country died alongside the likes of Johnny Warren, etc. I like the use of etc.
That's good use of punctuation mark.
Yep. Joe Casino, good name. That's a strong name, Joe Casino. I like that.
I like that.
What about Arzani? He's one of the best players on the ball and gets 10 minutes. Punctuation, you probably need to check out with apostrophe. It's going to turn into the Balkan Ruse. And look, the Balkan teams are pretty good, so it's probably not bad. What else?
What are the Balkan teams?
Oh, like
Croatia and Serbia.
All those teams.
Yep, okay.
Bosnia. Slightly aggressive bear. That's a good name.
I like that.
Shirty,
My
but slightly aggressive bear. Nepotism has always been a problem in Australian football from the grassroots up. Chris, to be fair to Pop, his style is boring, but we're getting results. That's what he does.
That is true.
What else do we have here? Paul Ocon Jr. is just an awful selection, and he tagged Paul Ocon.
Did he?
Just Paul Ocon, not
dad?
Jr. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Oh, man. And then people have come in to bat for Paul Ocon. Lotus, you two clearly haven't watched the kid play. I was like, oh, that's true.
Yeah, no shit. That's what my reply was.
Watch
no
him play
shit.
before you rap. He's a good player, but it's disrespectful to top young talent playing seniors. Wear a national outfit to play for the national team. You have to be playing. And that's from Matt Samp 9911. He gets it. And the final one I'll go with here is Franco Frank. Australian team and coach are an absolute joke. Clown face emoji ×3.
Oh. So it seemed like most were on your side. There were a few people who were saying give the kid a chance, but I don't know. Did he play?
No, didn't play. And we'll get to this shortly, but didn't play. I don't think even made the match day squad. I'm not 100% sure. So, until he gets on the pitch for a certain class of game, he could still play for Belgium or wherever because he's dual nationality. So it's kind of
so they're just trying to get him on the team. Therefore,
his dad's the assistant coach. Of course, he's going to play for Australia, and he's legitimately a very good player. Just shouldn't be in the squad.
Yep. Fair shout. One thing we did, we're going to give a shout out to our man, our favourite, Lachlan Kennedy. He saw a little clip we put up of him.
Kennedy.
Breaking the 10 seconds, 100 metre mark, the first Australian to do. I did get some feedback about this clip in Heathcote about that we're a little bit risque. A lovely audience member who follows the show did mention when we started talking about the fastest white Australian ever that she thought that was a bit risque. Yeah. I didn't think that was that risque, but
just true. Bit of white guilt, just being like, oh, I can't say that.
She was white. That is true.
Yeah, I just assumed that she was white.
Yeah, the gig in Heathcote.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man, but thank you for everyone. Keep the comments coming. We love it. We'll keep reading them out. And that Socceroos thing, I'm sure there'll be more from that in the next week or so. Been a big week in sports though, Dools.
Oh, I tell you what.
I'm gonna tee this one up. This is the biggest news. Okay. I'm gonna let you cook on it.
Oh, I've got thoughts.
Ange Posticoglu has been given the arse by Tottenham. What are your thoughts, Dools?
The more Tottenham exists, the more they just do Tottenham Spurs things. It is the most Spursy move that they could possibly. He literally just won a European title for them, and he was very clear to the board and stuff like that. It's like, okay, cool. Like, with the amount of injuries we've had, we're not going to qualify for Champions League, so you got to finish top 4 for that. But we're safe enough. We've got enough points in that we're not going to get relegated. I'm going to go all in to win this trophy, which is what he did. And he won the trophy. And now the chairman's like, no, see ya. So he's gotten the ass after winning the trophy. They got rid of Mourinho a week out from a Champions League final. They got rid of Poc just after losing the final. They've gone through a lot of elite level coaches. Maybe it's not the coach's fault at that club. Maybe it's who owns the club. And I think they need to get the fuck out.
Who does own the club?
Well, the big face is Daniel Levy. He's this bald-looking goblin man, and he is ruining that club.
Love it. I don't love what they're doing. I love that he's a bored little evil genius.
And Ange will be fine. He's fine. Like, he said, hey, I always win something in my second season. Bang, he's done that. His approach, and he showed in his first season there, they lost Kane. They lost Harry Kane literally the week before the season started. They finished 5th, with a new manager, new style, losing the best striker in the club's history, arguably. So he has shown that with a full squad, he can do well. And this season, I think they only brought in one senior player in the transfer window. So it's like, it's got to be on Levy. And the more the Spurs exist, the more Spursy they become.
What's next for Ange, do you think, Dools?
Oh, so the rumor is they're going to sign Thomas Frank as the coach. So hopefully there's a job there open. Like, he's the Brentford coach, I think, off the top of my head, Brentford. What would be cool is if Ange went there,
job swap, and then
they beat the shit out of Tottenham. Then all the players have been posting just how Devo they are and stuff like that. So. Yeah.
All right. Well, we hope that Tottenham Hotspurs get relegated next season, do F all in the FA Cup or whatever, and they just fall apart miserably while Ange goes to wherever he goes and has a good first season, then wins trophies in his second season like he always does.
The good thing is, every Australian doesn't have to pretend that we like Tottenham anymore.
Yes. And sticking with soccer, though, the Socceroos, we did beat Japan 1-0, as we heard a lot about in the comment section, in what type of a game, Dools?
Australia got absolutely pants for 90 minutes of that game, and by the arguably at best the Japanese B team. It was probably more like the C+ team, and Australia just couldn't do anything. They were absolutely outclassed. And for people in the comments, like, oh yeah, but look, Pop got results. Look what it was all planned and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure the plan wasn't to get belted for 90 minutes and then your left back scores on his opposite foot from sort of the edge of the box. Probably not the plan that's going to do well at the World Cup.
Yeah, I can't imagine so.
That's what I think.
All right. But you happy with one? I'm happy with one.
Hey, it's good result. Yeah, 99% in the World Cup.
We're 99%.
We play, I was going to say South America. That's a continent. We're playing Saudi Arabia. And the Saudis have to win by 5 goals for Australia to not qualify and for them to qualify. So if we draw or win, we're in. And if we lose by less than 5 goals, we're in.
Okay, good. All right, I love that. We're in the World Cup, baby. Where's the World Cup next?
In the Americas. It's kind of like Canada, American, I think Mexico.
Okay, all right.
So,
cool.
Who knows? Yeah.
What about this one, Dools?
Oh, my boy from Luistro Combat Academy in Perth, Quillan Salkilld got another win in the UFC on the weekend. What are your thoughts?
Well, it wasn't as explosive as his last one, the 22nd knockout, but he showed a little bit more of his game, but never really looked in doubt. The opponent looked outmatched and outclassed. I think we've got another world champ on our hands, Dawes.
Quillan, he's got a fantastic mustache. Hopefully,
it is a good mustache.
It is good. It's been developing for a while, that mo. It's not a new thing. He's very well coached, very well drilled. Rommel Luistro's running a fantastic operation over there in Perth.
JDM from that camp?
No, from a different one.
Okay. So it's all happening in Perth
It's all
at the
happening
moment.
in Perth. When I'm on the road, I might drop in there and pop my head in.
Yeah, love it. Love it. Get an interview for us. Good on you. Quillan, Jai, Opetaia.
You should be able to say
I
this.
know if anyone in podcasting in Australia should get this right, it should be me, but I've kind of ballsed it up. Anyway, Jai beat Claudio Squeo by TKO to retain the IBF and The Ring cruiserweight world titles. 2 world titles that sound kind of made up, but they're real. The Ring especially is like, they just made that whole division. I'm like, what the hell? But anyway, we've got an Aussie with 2 world title belts. He retains. He's going to look to unify the rest of them, the other 12 boxing championship titles. But yeah, what did you think of this one, Dulls?
I mean, I love the surname Squeo.
Squeo. I had a teacher called Squeo.
That's a good surname. Look, there are so many titles in the world of boxing. It's hard to keep up sometimes. Everyone's got a belt. It's participation awards. Well done though to Big J.O. For winning.
J.O.
Still got to win.
That's it.
I tell you what, one thing I'm excited about, Jess Fox has triumphed in the women's C1 event at the World Cup leg held in La Siu, Spain. So that's good.
Very good. Jess Fox, she's a national hero, Dooley.
Oh, is that the rower?
Close.
Canoer.
I think
Kayaker.
Yeah, she's a kayaker.
What's the difference between a canoe and a kayak?
I feel like a canoe is a single-sided paddle.
Oh.
Because like when you're canoeing, it's like that.
Oh, yeah.
And then
and
kayaking's like that.
Yeah, okay. There you go.
Maybe, but there's a very good chance I don't know what the hell I'm talking about as well.
On you, Foxy. Well
Good
done.
work, Jess.
Why is it the C1 event? What do you reckon?
I have no idea what it is. Championship one?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. Cruiserweights?
Sure.
I'll tell you what I'm legit excited about. We've got the US Open coming up next week. In which sport? Dools, you know.
Tennis.
Close. Aussies in this week's US Open. We've got Cam Davis, Jason Day, Adam Scott, Cameron Smith, Min Lee, and Mark Leishman. So that's a pretty good representation. Tricky one to qualify for the US Open, but a few of our boys have done it, including Mark Leishman, who did it at a qualifying event over the weekend. Out of our 6, who can you see have a crack for a major championship this weekend?
I'm just learning that Mark Leishman is Australian.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought he was American.
Nope.
He's got a good name for a dog trainer.
Yeah, the Leash Man.
Yeah, like he could, you know.
You can see that somewhere on Foxtel at 2:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Leash Man.
Yeah, Leach Man. And he just like does a bit of that action. I think we'll go with the Leash Man.
You reckon Mark Leishman?
Yeah, let's go. Mark with a C. Kark Leishman.
I'm going to put my money on Min Woo Lee. Min Woo Lee to finish in the top 10 and maybe be there or thereabouts. But I tell you what, Adam Scott's been in very, very good form.
Yep, 2 first names. There you go. Ryan Reynolds buying another team, this time with our mate Aussie Hugh Jackman.
The Wolverine. Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, there you go. They've become the new co-owners of the very successful sailing team, SailGP team.
What's your favourite ever SailGP performance?
Oh, that time when the boat won. Oh, this America's Cup.
There you go.
Is that?
I don't know if they've won it or not. What do you, obviously Ryan Reynolds...
Is SailGP the team or the sport?
That you might have just stumped You might be onto something here.
No, it's not. To be fair, like I think the most underwhelming sporting event in the Australian calendar is the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. I'm not sure if this is the same thing.
You can't be underwhelmed by something that never whelmed you to begin with. I think you could just say it's the shittest event.
It is.
It's the most boring.
It's barely whelming.
Yeah, you can't whelm at all. But
No.
do you think having Hollywood superstars like Deadpool and Wolverine getting into sailing is going to do anything for the sport?
I tell you what, the caviar crew in Mossman and that part of Sydney are going to get real excited because I feel like that's where people are into boating.
Yeah, have you ever met anyone into boating? You wouldn't remember because they'd be boring as fuck.
Do you know who's into it? Do you know Tim Caveman Barrett?
Yeah, Cavey.
He loves a bit of boating.
He does. I think he likes the speedboat.
He also loves the Sydney to Hobart.
He loves the Sydney to Hobart
because I was like ripping on it on stage once, and afterwards he's like, "What do you mean? I love the Sydney to Hobart yacht race. It's one of my favourite events." I think he's probably done it as well.
He probably has.
He doesn't look like someone who would spend time on water.
No,
but does look like someone who would spend time sort of like isolated on an island surrounded by water.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I forgot what I was going to say about Cavey, but I don't know. Sailing.
Not into it.
It's a no from me. It's a no from me. And I think Cavey's lessened in my eyes after hearing that story. So, and not a high bar to begin with. What else you got? No, love you, Cavey.
All right, the Tasmanian AFL team's future is looking bleak.
What is going on down there, Dools?
I tell you, it's a political shit show, is what I'm hearing.
It is a political shit show. What effect? Why can't just build the stadium? Who cares about what's going on?
Well, so that's the big argument that's happening in Tassie is that they've already got two very good stadiums that currently already play AFL games on. Why do they need another one that's going to cost, I think it's like $2 billion, and it's, I think it's only like a 30,000 seat stadium.
It's sad. It's got a roof on it. Apparently.
Yeah, and it's like they're in Tassie. They're used to shit weather there. It's cold in Tassie all the time. And the AFL's like, well, if you don't have that, you don't have a team. To be fair, I don't think the AFL's really too concerned if it doesn't go ahead because I don't think the AFL really wants a team in Tassie anyway.
Exactly.
It's just they've been pushed and they're like, all right, well, if you're going to do it, build this fancy pants stadium. They've got stadiums. They don't need more. What do they need more for? They've got stadiums. Give them some cheese and something at AFL head office. I don't know. Is that what Tassie people do? Cheese?
I don't know.
They make cheese there?
I know they do wine.
Oysters. Wine.
Whiskey.
Whiskey. They do whiskey. Sullivan's Cove is in Tassie. That's very good whiskey.
Very good. But they don't do stadiums apparently anymore.
Nope.
That's the problem with politics in Tasmania. It's a lot of family infighting.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. The OKC Thunder. I don't know if you saw this. I was driving, but I just caught up with it. I watched the start. They've just squared up the final series. Sorry, you weren't planning to watch it later.
No. That's I'm aware. I'm looking at the box score right now.
1-1. And huge news. Obviously, Indiana. Oh my God, what about that shot by Tyrese Halliburton? That was a monster. But the final series 1-1. Aussie Johnny Furphy saw the court.
Yes.
Put up some huge. His box score was going off. They needed to try that like an oblong.
Yeah.
Not just a box to fit all his stats in with his 4 minutes and 1 rebound.
What a moment. 1 defensive board and a foul.
Oh, you got a foul?
Got a foul. There you go. Our other boy, Alex Dukas, also got on, but not long enough for it to register as a minute.
Oh, damn. So don't you hate when that happens?
A couple of seconds, didn't get a stat, but hey, he was there. He was on the court.
It's good to see our boys. I know we can be a little facetious with them, but we are proud to see Aussies on the court in the NBA Finals, whether it matters or not.
Absolutely.
Cool. This one, Dawes, I want to talk to you about this a bit more in depth because I'm excited about this. The NBA All-Star Game is going to be USA versus the world next year. Which Aussies have a chance of being on the world team?
I mean, obviously the GOAT, Josh Giddey.
I thought you were going to say Luke Longley.
Yeah. Luke Longley.
Make a comeback.
Chris Anstey. No, surely Giddey gets at least a hint a look. If he continues in how he was, playing at the end of the season, surely.
If he starts the season the way he ended this season, he'd have to be in consideration. Who would be in consideration for the guards? You got Shea.
You've got Harder. Oh, no, he's American. Luca.
Luca, of course. There's the starting two locked up, obviously. But then, I don't know, in terms of guard, there's obviously a lot of bigs and a lot of wings.
You've got
not too many point guard types.
No, you could have
Jamal Murray. And,
Canadian. Yeah, there's a lot of Canadians.
Yeah.
Actually. Surely they don't count.
They shouldn't count. It should be North America versus the world. But do you think there's a world in which Dyson Daniels also gets a look in?
I tell you what, defensively, if they were actually playing and putting together a team to win, not just be mildly entertaining, Dyson Daniels gets in every day of the week. He's like a defensive machine.
He's a defensive machine.
What about some of those players, though, who are born and bred in America, but now they're like, actually, I'm going to represent the Bahamas. Like, where do they come?
Buddy Hield.
Yeah, Buddy Hield
might
or
get a game.
the Thompson twins are going to represent Jamaica.
Are they?
Yep.
Oh.
So, do they go
in basketball or bobsledding?
Yeah, probably both.
Oh,
yeah.
amazing.
They're athletic enough.
They are. They could push a bobsled. So the Thompson, I didn't know that. So the Thompson twins, I don't know. Dyson's got them covered, doesn't he?
Yeah, he'd be up. He definitely got
one of them.
Yeah, he's got the Pistons one covered.
Yeah, but maybe not Amen.
No, forever and ever. No,
but it'd be good to see in this format. That means there's a very good chance that Josh Giddey could be an all-star next season.
There you go. Okay, here's a question.
Take it to the bank.
Yeah, absolutely. Off the glass bank.
Yes.
Here's a question for you. What does Ben Simmons have to do to get on that squad?
Play basketball again. Just play just rewind the clock. He is already an all-star. Where is he going to go, do you think? Is it Boston still?
Well, there's talk the Spurs might be interested.
Ooh, I like that.
Oh.
You have the in and out game with Ben Simmons and Victor Wembanyama. That could work very, very well.
Absolutely. Got a lot of point guards there now as well. So don't know what he's going to do there because that's kind of his main offensive skill is passing.
Yep.
So don't know.
All right.
Tell you what.
Yes.
You know what I'm excited for?
What are you excited for, Dools?
It's my favourite segment. It's your favourite segment. It's the Budgie Smuggler's favourite segment. It is the
Random Josh Giddey Stat of the Week. It's not actually a stat, though. I just put it because I miss saying it because we haven't had one.
It's more of a thought and a comment and a
Josh
bit of
Giddey
insight.
Thought of the week. Yeah. But I saw this reported in Fox News. They did a big article in there.
An expose, if you will.
An expose on the Thunder. And they were talking to some US-based journalists, and the US reporting on Josh Giddey about the Thunder's run to the finals. Open quote, they don't get to this point without Josh Giddey. Some are saying, he might not get a ring, but he should get something for helping. It's like, in what world can Josh Giddey get any credit for this Thunder's run into the finals? It feels a little bit like addition by subtraction in regards to Josh Giddey in a win-win trade, the very, very rare win-win trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
What are your thoughts, Stools? Do you think Josh Giddey should get any kind of recognition for what the Thunder are doing right now in the finals?
Absolutely. He's the man. Like, he's inspiring them to get there. Like, SGA, he's said many times that he wouldn't be the man he was today without the tutelage of Josh Giddey. Lou Dort, it's a good name to say. Also, he's like Josh Giddey, he looks at a picture of Josh Giddey every night before he goes to sleep. And Alex Caruso is like, you know what? I shaved my head as soon as I saw Josh Giddey because Josh Giddey's hair is magnificent.
Exactly. Jay Will also had a lot to say about how he wouldn't be half the man he is today without spending a couple of years with Josh Giddey. And that Josh Giddey had taught him everything he knew about basketball, which was really interesting to see him say. So maybe he should get a ring if they win.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Very good. Have you got a list, Jules?
Oh, I do have a list.
All right. So I've got a list as well. Do you want me to go first?
You go first. No, you go first.
It's the King's birthday. So I've put together a list of the top 5 knighted Australian athletes. Wait till you get a listen to this list, Jules. You'll be like, whoa, Only these 5? What? This is crazy. At number 5, of course, and you probably, this man needs no introduction. You probably already picked who number 5 was. It was Sir Francis Joseph Edmund Bow Repair.
The tyre man.
The tyre man.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what sport he was? A big
car racing.
He was obviously, John.
He's a mechanic.
Yes, he was an Australian distance freestyle swimmer from the 1990s to the 1920s who won 3 silver and 3 bronze medals. So there you go, Sir Francis Joseph Edmund Bow Repair. 3 first names, 1 last, and then he got out of the pool straight into the motor. What do you call it? The wreckers.
Yeah.
And just these tires aren't
Into
good
the
enough.
workshop.
He said, I've been swimming for 20 years. I think I know how a tire works.
Yeah.
And then
I think I
got
understand
9.
tread.
Yeah, he knows tread. At number 4. You always bring this guy up every week on the pod, basically.
He's a
you don't
favourite.
go a day without going with Sir James Gilbert Hardy.
Oh,
He was
JGH.
Yes, JGH. Everyone calls him, or Sir JGH in more formal. Right? Do you want to know what do you reckon his sport was?
Swimming.
Swimming? Close. If he was swimming doing this sport, he was probably shit at it because it was sailing.
So big fan of
yes.
the Hugh Jackman, Ryan Reynolds.
Chase. But he does make Hardy. Have you heard of Hardy Wines? This is him.
Oh, is he related to Ed Hardy?
The fashion aficionado, maybe. Certainly. But Hardy Wines, terrible wine.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. At number 3, I think you had a poster of this guy on your wall as a kid. You were mentioning it. Sir John Arthur Barbram.
Jack Brabham.
Jack Brabham.
Yes.
No, John Arthur Brabham. Do you want to guess what he was famous for? This guy actually is famous.
Oh, yeah. He's a did he, what do you call them? The V8s.
Oh, close.
Is he in the V8s?
That is a very good guess, though. No, Brabham won 3 Formula 1 World Drivers' Championship titles, Dools.
There you
between
go.
1955 and 1970. So he's obviously been knighted. Well, how do you get knighted? You just be good at shit? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a chess move, I think.
I don't know. I'd have to ask this bloke. Well, I would if he wasn't so dead. It's Sir Norman Everin Brooks. Do you want to have a guess at what he did? What sport he did?
Orienteering. He's got a real mountain man sort of vibe.
No, during his career, he won 3 Grand Slam singles titles, including Wimbledon in 07 and 14, 2-time Wimbledon champion, and what was once called the Australasian Championships in 1911. At number 1, I reckon you could actually guess this one because this was the only person I'd ever heard of before doing research on this. Who do you think number 1 is?
The Don.
The Don. Sir Donald George Bradman is the number 1 top 5 knighted Australian athletes, widely acknowledged as the greatest batsman of all time.
There you go.
Speaking of all time, that might have been the shittest list of all time, but I kind of enjoyed putting it together. But Dools, you have a much better one,
Okay, I've got a list here. So obviously at the Sporting Globe, we a big part of it was to try and get some time with Bailey Smith, which we management put a hard tag on. We couldn't get that across the line, and a lot of people say he's got this fantastic, unique hair. I think as well, it's been done. So I've got the top 5 best hairstyles in AFL.
The top 5 best hairstyles in AFL. Is this based on the player or the type of hair?
Just the hair.
Okay,
the
great.
hair.
I'm looking forward to this.
Okay, coming in at number 5. The Rat.
The Rat. So is that the rat tail?
No, this is his nickname, The Rat, from Hawthorn, John Platten.
Oh, so the sort of the long, flowing, curly, but also thinning up front a little bit.
Yep.
Or like a perm.
Yeah. Big shout out to Ronnie Weirmouth from Collingwood for just missing out because he had sort of like a lighter version.
Weirmouth?
Of that. Yeah.
Okay.
Not a good name.
No.
Coming in at number 4, the great man. I think he's just been shooting a movie. He's a man for all seasons. I think he's also got a bit of an adult film out there in circulation. I don't think he does. I've seen it. It is not good. The Wiz, Warwick Kappa.
Yep. So we're talking the blonde locks.
Yeah, it's kind of
80s style Kappa.
Real sort of hair metal sort of style.
Do you think there's a current day player that could pull that off maybe?
maybe Cameron Zurhaar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'd like to see.
that,
Yeah.
He's got a bit of a rude head on him, though, so I don't know if that would work. Coming in at number 3, Mr. Burns himself, Kevin Bartlett.
Kevin Bartlett,
he just clung on to that. It was delay, a bit of a comb over for the 4 hairs that could, and it was long at the back. Oh, what a moment.
I love that.
Big shout out to Phil Smythe, the basketballer, for having a similar hairstyle. Coming in at number 2, one of the greatest mullets in the history of mullets, former Essendon and Adelaide Crow midfielder Greg Anderson.
Greg Anderson, that one's, I'll have to look this up.
It is phenomenal.
Okay.
And
yeah, that's beautiful. With the mustache as well, or
yeah, with or without the mustache, it's a good mullet.
Straight mullet.
Yeah.
Straight handsome mullet.
And what I love about it is he clung on to that hairstyle when the mullet was not in vogue.
From a few years ago where he's still got the mullet, which is great.
Yeah, he's very Adelaide. And coming in at number 1, one of the most iconic footballers of all time with one of the most iconic hairstyles of all time. Special shout out to Danny Southern because it's not him. I'm talking about the man who brought red dreadlocks into the AFL, Hawthorn superstar, the icon, Josh Thurgood.
Josh Thurgood.
The skinniest key defender you've ever seen with
I remember.
dreads.
Oh, the wrangle of the dreads. I forgot all about Josh Thurgood. 13 games, no wins. That is a shocker.
It is a rude head of hair
That
from
is
Josh Thurgood.
So rude. He kicked 1 goal in those 13 no wins as well. So good on him. Well done to Josh Thurgood for taking out the top place.
Yep, well done.
That was a good list.
There's some good hairdos in the AFL, and hair comes in and out of fashion, but you want something that's timeless. And I think Josh Thurgood,
when are red dreads out? That's what I want to know.
Exactly, permanently in.
Yep. All right. Do you have an Aussie legend you want to talk about, Dools, that you can make up?
I do actually. Now, as I burped my coffee into the microphone, then hello.
Hello.
You may have seen there's been a building that's been painted with 2 Aussie legends on it.
Yes.
The 2 goats, the male and the female goat of Australian basketball, Lauren Jackson and Andrew Gaze. So I think, they're the Aussie legends. I'd like to see that continued. I'd like to see one where it's like you look at it from one angle and it's Michelle Timms, and you look at it from another angle and it's Shane Heel. What a moment.
I really like that. Look, I'm not going to... They are the 2 basketball goats, I would say. If I was starting a Mount Rushmore of basketball, I think we've done that.
Yep.
They're 2 locks.
Yep.
They're 1 and 2. They're George Washington and Abraham Lincoln of the Mount Rushmore of Australian basketball. And it's a good mural.
It is. It's very well. It looks phenomenal.
It looks great. Does it?
It's one of those ones where you look at it for too long and you start to be like,
picking out the things.
It's like, oh,
I think Lauren looks great. I think why did they make Gazy, why did they put Gazy's current head on his old basketball body?
Yeah. It doesn't work.
But so I'm not gonna talk rudely about it because I think it's a great idea. What's it painted on? Do you know?
I don't know. I'm not sure if they're housing commission flats or like a wheat silo or just a building. Who knows? But it's good to see the Aussies getting a bit of love there. One question that I want to throw to you is they're the goats, right? They're the household names. Give me if you were to see 2 players, you're a big St Kilda fan, 2 players, not the goats, from St Kilda, any era, which 2 players would you want to see?
It would be Nicky Winmar and Stephen Milne.
Okay. Surely Nicky Winmar's...
He's already got he does have a
goatish.
statue.
He's goatish.
All right.
He could do some amazing... He could take a hanger. He could kick a torp. He could punch on with the best of them.
It'd be Stephen Milne and... it's getting away from GOAT status. Maybe Jason Heatley.
Jason Heatley, yeah.
When I was a kid.
Yeah, he kicked a few goals.
Yeah. So Stephen Milne was my favourite... a player when I was a young fella. Got the same birthday as Stephen Milne. had a doggo named after him called Milne, who ran away.
There you go.
Yeah. What about you? Who would your two?
For St Kilda, I would have gone Trent Noble and Troy Schwartz.
Troy Schwartz and Trent Noble.
Yeah, the big knob.
Yeah, fair enough. I probably went a bit too high with mine. But what about for Richmond?
For Richmond,
if you've got to paint a mural on your backyard fence, on the back of your house.
Yep.
And it can't be anyone that would ever be in Richmond's Hall of Fame, for example, or Team of the Century. So who would those two players be?
The Barunga Bullet, Relton Roberts.
Yep, you love Relton Roberts.
Yeah, love him. Who doesn't?
Relton Roberts has got 3 mentions on 3 separate episodes of this bloody podcast. But yes.
He's a king. And speaking of, Clinton King.
Clint King.
Yeah.
The Clint King.
Clinton King.
That's a very similar nickname to I had in high school. All right. Great. I think we're ready for you ready for the power? Anything else you want to chat about before we get into the power?
No, let's go. Let's hop into this.
All right. This is not much is changing up the top. No one's really rocking the boat on a global scale, but there's some interesting stuff throughout. But in number 10, after his huge game today, I've gone with Johnny Furphy. Well, obviously with those 4 minutes, 1 rebound and 1 foul, had a bit of impact, almost got them back into the game. At number 9, I've got your man. It's Quillan Salkilld.
Quill, what a man.
This is very combat sports orientated, this top 10 this week. At number 8, we've got her. She's a bloody Olympic gold medalist several times over. Jess Fox.
What is she?
Gold medalist.
Yeah.
Gold medalist. No, gold medalist. Jess Fox at number 8. At number 7, we have he's got 2 legitimate cruiserweight boxing championships. It's Jai Opetaia. I think that's how you pronounce it. At number 6, probably shouldn't be in here actually. I'm going to make a call.
Oh,
it's Bailey Smith out. And we're going to put in Nick Dacos.
Yes,
Nick
my
Dacos,
boy.
you're in. Nick Dacos, he would have spoken to us yesterday.
Yeah, exactly.
At number 5, he's fastly coming down this list after being number 1 last week, but it's Lachlan Kennedy. Fastest white man in the world. At number 4, we've got the GOAT, Alexander Volkanovski.
The king.
Still a champion. At number 3, we've got Jack Della Maddalena.
3-name Jack.
3-name Jack JDM. At number 2, first time in, maybe last time in, but at number 2, I've got Aziz Bayic.
Hey, Zizbra.
Yeah.
The king of Meadow Heights, the king of Broad Meadows. We love him.
Loved him. Got the debate. Won, literally, like you said earlier in the episode, won the game off his own boot in what was a pretty one-sided game up until that point. Number 1. I can't believe this is the first time he's been number 1, but finally, after, I don't know what episode number we're up to, nearly 20 at number 1, it's Oscar Piastri on top of the Aussie Athlete
was there a
Power
race
Rankings. No.
Oh, okay.
Just the people fell, he just kind of stumbled up to the top.
So Aziz Bayic, regardless of how shit the game was, basically gets Australia into the World Cup. Not enough.
I'm giving him penalty because I forgot the game was on and I missed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's on me. Yep. But what else? Did he have a great game? Has he done anything other than...
I mean, he had a pretty good week, to be fair, Aziz. He was captain of Melbourne City and they held the trophy up over Melbourne Victory, and then like 5 days later kicked the goal to, essentially book us in on his opposite boot as well. He's a left back. Combative.
There's
left
one
back.
thing I've learnt on social media this week is no one cares about soccer anyway, except for like 20,000 odd people. But yes, you're right. Might have got that one wrong. But Oscar's he's dominating. So I'm glad that he's at the top of the power rankings.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
That's it for this week, Dool. What do you got? You're taking a week off, are you?
Well, I mean, I thought so, but then I just got an alert for a gig that I am apparently doing. So
you are doing a gig there.
I am. I'm doing one. So it's at the Frankston Brew House.
Oh, the Frankston Brew House. Very nice.
Frankston. Look, I'm going to be doing some new material, so who knows what's going to happen there. But I'm just looking at it now. It's a solid lineup. You know, Gavin Semple is on it. You know, Paul Sharpland. Sharpie.
Oh, Sharpie.
So that'll be good.
Very good. Before I get into my gigs for the week, I just want to say a very nice thank you to comedian James G. Warren for wishing me a happy birthday.
Same.
And you as well?
Yeah.
Amazing. So thank you for that. James, I really appreciate
He's been taken over by the AI overlords.
I think so. But I, on Friday, have a gig at the National in Bendigo for Blow-Ins Comedy. And then on Saturday, I'm somewhere. Do you remember where I said I was performing? I can't remember.
Pakenham.
I'm in Pakenham on Friday night for a fundraiser for the hockey club, I think, with Simon Taylor, as seen on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Yep.
Max Zadnik, as seen, opening for Dooley last year, and Robin Reynolds as well. But that'll be a fun night, I'm sure. Just found out that it's for people 12 and over, so guess.
Yeah, what are you going to talk about?
Speaking about Bailey being a no-show, it's I'm going to have to write 10 minutes of material between now and then. But no, that'll be fun. So a couple of good gigs coming up this week, and not as hecko as last week.
Yeah, then it all picks up after that. But hey, we'll see you next week. We love you. This is the Budgie Smugglers. See ya.
Bye.